to the Fantasy Footballers Podcast with your hosts, Andy Holloway, Jason Moore, and Mike Wright.
Oh, welcome in. Tuesday, April 21st. The Fantasy Footballers Podcast, Jason Moore, Mike Wright. I'm Andy Holloway.
Draft week.
Yeah, baby, we're here. And the Giants have extra picks.
Oh.
Do you realize that was the first time? This is like getting way ahead of the news, but Dexter Lawrence was traded straight up for the number 10 overall pick in the draft. So the Bengals, I mean, we got to be honest. You look at the numbers behind what Dexter Lawrence brings to a defense, devastating for Mike, because we have a strict fantasy football policy on this show. We don't want the Bengals getting better on defense, and we don't want the Cowboys getting better on defense.
I mean,
and they are going to be better with Dexter Lawrence.
they will, but they lost Hendrickson.
They did.
So,
They did.
I mean, can you imagine that defense without one of those
Well,
guys?
they didn't have Hendrickson for a lot of last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I mean,
It was great.
I saw the numbers. New York was just atrocious without Dexter Lawrence on the field last year. But this is like the first time in 21 years or something like that that a top 10 pick was traded for a non-quarterback.
Yeah, I saw the post. I forget which one of the big insiders was saying, oh, they posted it in a way where it was like, there's precedence for this. This has happened before. In 1986, it's like, wait, this has been a minute. There's not a lot of precedence here.
It was one of those deals where it's like there's not a bunch of other pieces moving around, no other picks later on. It was just
I love
pretty
it because,
fantasy football of
yeah,
these teams.
it was. I love it because all I saw was how much each team fleeced the other and how good the trade was or bad the trade was. And honestly, when I look at it, it seems really wise and smart for both parties. I get it from both of their situations. I don't think the Bengals were going to find at 10 in this draft a player that good at a position of need. Yeah, they have to pay him, but the contract they signed was not that bad.
They added like 1 year of guaranteed money.
Yeah, and I think
1
he's
year, $28 million.
somewhere around $12 million a year. It's like the number 10 pick was going to be $6 million a year for a rookie.
It might be great for both teams. It really might.
Yeah.
And now the Giants, for fantasy purposes, like they've got 2 top 10 picks, and one of them is going to be a impact offensive player most likely, because I don't think they're going to spend both of them on the defensive side. They were already rumored around Jeremiah Love or Jordan Tyson or Carnell Tate or any of these guys. Now we get to find out what happens, and it happens on Thursday. But first, yes, big announcement. Did you hear that there's an announcement, Al?
I did.
It's
I'm anxiously awaiting.
Oh, it's draft week.
It is draft week, and we have a very special Ultimate Draft Week giveaway. It is the Ultimate Draft Week. We're giving away a spot in the coveted Fantasy Footballers Listener League. That is the grand prize. We are giving away a signed Jamar Chase jersey and a signed Bijan Robinson jersey. If you're watching on youtube.com/thefantasyfootballers, you can see them on the back wall here. But all you got to do, and you do it every year anyways, is pick up the Ultimate Draft Kit at ultimatedraftkit.com. You're going to get instant access to a bunch of features. When the full UDK releases on June 1st, you'll get even more access to everything you need to win on draft day, including new features we're going to be bringing to you this year.
And if you're an Ultimate Foot Clan member already, you are already in this. You will always be in all of our giveaways. If you're not,
or if you have the UDK.
Yeah. If you're not an Ultimate Foot Clan member, people make mistakes. We forgive you.
Yeah.
It's totally understandable. Maybe you didn't even know. Maybe you're new to the show. I don't know. But you can go to footclan.com and just, rectify that. And then you get in this. You can win a spot in our listener league. This is the first one we give away every year. It will go up through this weekend, through the draft. Awesome times, big giveaways, great products. And then because of the draft, our next release for the Dynasty Pass, all of our updated rookie rankings, all of our, we get so much information this week. This is like the beginning of fantasy football season is right when the draft ends.
Yeah, it's super exciting. We do our keeper lottery, like our league of record starts to take form after the draft. And those of you that are newer to the show, maybe you don't have experience with the Ultimate Draft Kit. That's where all of our tier-based rankings are, all of our premium stat projections where we go through and we are, we just did our early rankings, but this is going to be our player-by-player actual stat projections for everybody, 100-plus video player profiles, custom cheat sheets. You can track your draft live on the app. The video profiles are always a hit. We've got the Value Scout tool in there now. All of our sleepers, breakouts, busts, and values, which evolve. Like it's a living, breathing tool to help you win on draft day. And, risk and upside meters, just a lot of stuff you can learn about.
It's what we use.
Yeah, ultimatedraftkit.com for that, and it gets better every single year. Be a part of the Ultimate Draft Week giveaway. Our quick question of the day was titled, I think by Brooksy, Draft Dreams. That sounds like a movie, too, like the next Costner flick for draft day. Draft Dreams. Name a rookie in a landing spot that you'd love to see happen for any reason.
Well...
both of you guys are
yeah,
haters.
I know. We both went a little bit
haters.
Do you want me to go first?
negative. I love I wanted to do yours, but yours is impossible.
It's not possible.
It's yours is impossible.
I mean, there's rumors right now that the Cardinals and Chiefs are in discussions around the third pick in the draft. Now,
yes,
a reasonable person would be imagining the Chiefs come up and take an impact defensive player like Arvell Reese or David Bailey. But no, in my draft dream scenario,
this is weird.
I mean,
this is just a personal
this
attack.
Is a draft fever dream.
it's not a personal attack.
Yes, it is.
It's a personal.
You're like, man, things really went way too well for Kenneth Walker, so how could we
First of all,
destroy
okay,
it?
if it's a personal attack, so be it, because you had a year of dominance.
You deserve it.
You won 2 leagues. It's Jeremiah Love to the Chiefs, everybody.
It's impossible.
If Jeremiah Love goes to the Chiefs,
the people hate
best
it.
player available.
They do not like it.
Ken Walker back where he belongs is kind of the 2 in an offense.
There it is. There
So
it is.
you would this would
There it
make
is.
you happy. Yeah, look how happy he
It
is.
would make me. It's just for little moments, and it would be just the moment when the pick happens, and I get to turn away from the TV and look at Mike.
Yeah,
Just for the moment, because it would bring so much. It would bring the fun of watching Jeremiah Love on the Chiefs. It would bring weeks and weeks of Mike going, "What are they doing?" Which we got to do with Michael Penix. That was fun.
yeah. It seems no way he
And,
makes
Some
it.
people want to watch the world
we
burn.
were right there, but
Yeah. All right, mine's
Were
a
we?
hater. Mine's a hater
Penix?
dream. Yeah, that being
Yeah.
a dumb decision.
yeah.
And yes,
I
But
stand by
on the
it.
but if Penix had been good, it was a great decision, right?
but he's not.
Well, I'm just saying, like, just be clear. We were wrong. We were right for the wrong reason. The reason we were right,
I don't think so.
Have you
man.
seen
There's
a clip
they
out
were
there?
absolutely right to take another quarterback because Cousins was not going to be it.
There's a baking show or like a guy doing a segment, and a lady says something, and the guest is very funny. He's like, "If my grandma had tires, she'd be a bicycle."
I know
yes,
the clip you're talking about.
We won. They lost.
So
For whatever
if they had
reason.
taken Jackson Dart, though, wasn't that the right pick at 9?
Well, yeah.
different year.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah. All right, Mike, you kick us off. Give us
All right.
something fun to root for because I would love this.
Mike was not entertained by mine. He didn't like mine at
It
all.
was a
Because it's
personal
just-
attack.
Yeah, it's a personal attack of an impossible action and situation.
Oh man, now I want it even more.
He will go. He's going 3 or 4.
Yes, he is to the Cardinals.
He's
or
going
to
3 or
somebody
4.
that trades for it.
3, 4, 5,
It-
7. You'd have to get through to get to.
The Chiefs aren't
Chiefs,
coming
it's
up
just
for,
not
happening.
for love.
Yeah, they're trading up.
Mine's Adam Randall to Washington. As I don't think Jeremiah Love makes it to Washington at 7. At that point with their pick situation, it's like you have players in your running back room, so maybe we use a third. I don't know,
Probably a 4th.
probably a day 3 pick. But Adam Randall is such a interesting running back prospect, a converted wide receiver, like the type of player that if they hit, they jump from a 3rd round rookie pick into a top 15 type of a fantasy running back. So it would be really exciting if he went there.
Have we ever, for one moment, considered Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt would be the starting running back for this team? At all this offseason?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. I think it'll be a 50-50 timeshare there.
Do you remember when I made one of the worst trades I've ever made last year in Dynasty? I'm in the middle of a
Your
rebuild.
Brock Purdy one?
Yeah, the Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
one.
Oh, yeah. I
yeah.
think about it all the time.
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I think I got Jacoby Brissett and Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt in that trade. And Brissett now holding out in Arizona for starter money. Talk about a
Good
toilet bowl of a team.
Good work, Arizona.
Yeah.
But
Maybe talk
they
to
could
the
both
guy.
be starting. That's just funny to think about.
They
could
could be. Yeah. They did
Terrible
sign
trade.
Rachaad White. So what I'm looking forward to in this draft, and I think this is realistic. I think this could very easily happen. I just put together like my official mock draft. I still have room to tweak it, and he would have been available here. I did not give him here, but it would be Kenyon Sadiq falling to the Jets at 16. I would love that so much because Sadiq is a
Jets getting Sadiq.
Yeah. The Sadiq is not my favorite prospect. He is obviously a superhuman athlete, best of the best, first percentile type of freak of nature. His production profile is not superb. And when you watch film, this was not like watching Brock Bowers. You watch Brock Bowers, and it's like, this guy is the offense. No one can ever take him down. He is on another level. He's just a super elite tight end for sure. That's not how I feel about Sadiq, and that
Right.
it feels bad to feel that. And so, if I'm not super into Sadiq, and I don't want the Jets to ruin one of the wide receivers I really like, how great would it be at 16 if they're like, we've got our receiving answer. It's Sadiq. Great, because then I'm out.
We're gonna be rolling out Mason Taylor
Yes.
and
Well, I mean,
Kenyon.
He wants. He already let Sadiq drop to 16 in this hypothetical because he doesn't like him, and now he's going to the Jets to.
in
just
my
be
real draft, he
forgotten
drops to
about.
19. But the Jets bypassed him in my situation.
Is this a
But this
mock
was like,
draft, or
Michael-
is this a draft where you pretend you're the GM of every team?
That the latter, where
Oh,
I
okay,
pretend
'cause
I'm the
that's
GM
different.
of every team.
Yeah.
But Michael Mayer was a second-round pick.
Yeah.
And that did not stop the Raiders from saying, hey, we need a true stud,
That's
and
true.
they took Brock Bowers.
Is he a dog?
Sadiq?
Yeah.
Sadiq's got a little dog in him. I mean,
I'm just
well,
saying, like,
yeah.
because
I
dogs and
didn't-
cats, they don't get
Oh,
along.
you're saying if they were both on the Jets,
I'm just asking.
yeah,
That could be.
they would just meet a double mesh route and they just run into each other and start fighting.
Well, no, they wouldn't fight because the cat would run away.
I think
What was that?
Meows. We don't need no cats.
Oh my!
be a dog.
I forgot about that.
Those two
I
would fight
forgot
like
about
cats
that.
and dogs.
All right, let's do some news.
News and notes from around the league.
Adam Schefter reporting the Eagles trading A.J. Brown to the Patriots is now considered likely. I mean,
Ken,
we've been
the fact that we all have to wait until June 1st for this bull crap to go away.
I mean, we know what's happening.
Just-
We've been
Just do the trade and say, hey, NFL, do this on
agreed
June
in,
1st.
the
agreed in
same way.
principle.
Yes.
It will execute
Just
on
get
June
it
1st.
over with.
I mean, they do this with cuts. A post-June 1st cut. Like, you can cut them beforehand and then designate them to be cut on June 1st. That's already, like, a thing.
It
Just
is?
do that with trades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how
For-
they
for
manipulate the
cap.
salary cap,
Yeah,
which is
exactly.
why they can't trade him right now because they want the cap to get split between the 2 years.
But he will be a Patriot. It will be sad for Romeo Dobbs. It will be great for Drake May.
yes,
the-
it will.
The
be more
fact of the
sad
matter
for
is the
Kyle
Eagles
Williams.
will be in play on Thursday. They will add a little bit of extra confirmation. They'll draft a wide receiver at some point in time, maybe early.
Oh man, sorry Philadelphia. I hope they AJ Brown this, like as in the Tennessee Titans.
Mhm.
This is the make good. You realize that of like Mike Vrabel was the coach when they traded him, and there's the legendary video of when the trade going through, and there's someone in that room who's not happy about trading AJ Brown.
And that was Mike
And that was
Vrabel.
Mike Vrabel. If he can get him back, and in Philadelphia with their first round pick is like, hey, we're taking
Yeah, whoever it is, Mike Hyland
Yeah,
or
just-
Jordan
who-
Tyson. It doesn't work out.
yes, and
Then
then
Become the
they've
next
done it.
Treylon Burks.
exactly. It's just this is what the world needs for balance.
Look, A.J. Brown's a very, very good player, and I'm going to tell you this. Jalen Hurts is not a better player without him.
Right.
But
He
Devontae
is not
Smith
a better
is-
quarterback.
Devontae Smith, stock would rise.
It would definitely go up.
39% target share in games without A.J. Brown.
Yeah, that won't happen.
No, I won't
but-
say that way.
but-
But
Sound like the cartoon cat.
Yeah, that did sound pretty.
What is that? Oh, is that Fievel? Was that Dom DeLuise?
I don't know.
I think Philadelphia's there'll be an interesting story. Nothing we say. I mean, everything we say right now, we got a little Jalen Hurts in the middle of the table. Philly fans, I feel like that franchise right now is hanging on. They've got a lot of money committed, right? Their defense is going to be great, but I'm curious about the offense without A.J. Brown. That'll be very, very interesting. I said it. Jacoby Brissett's not attending phase 1 of the offseason program, wants to be paid like a starter.
It's great news.
That one is so funny because if you recall, at least the way it was laid out on social media, that everything was okay. They're going to get rid of Kyler. The Cardinals bring in Gardner Minshew. You're like, what? They're going to have Jacoby and Gardner Minshew? And then there was the tweet, the Cardinals are moving forward like Jacoby is the starter. He doesn't know about it yet.
Right? Yeah. They're bringing
this is why he didn't know about it, because they're trying to sneak it through so they didn't have to pay him
If you're
starter
planning
money.
on him being your starter, you got to pay him like a starter. Period.
Yes.
Gardner Minshew was brought in not to compete, but to be the backup for Jacoby Brissett. But Jacoby Brissett is not necessarily aware of this, and certainly not financially. But it's great because the pictures came out early. This is months ago of the Cardinals' locker room area, their new wall graphics, and the primary. You walk into the players' area, and the biggest, most primary, the entire wall is a picture of Jacoby Brissett. And it's
I'm not getting paid like that guy.
He walks in and looks at that and goes, all right, I'll be right back. I got to go talk to my agent.
That guy probably makes a lot of money.
That guy probably has $50 million for that picture up there.
Daniel Jeremiah said Ty Simpson to Arizona feels inevitable. When we'll find out on maybe late first round trade up.
Okay.
So much.
If it's
smoke.
inevitable, they should wait till the last round to get him.
They should just
That's what I think.
grab him in the second. They've got
Jeremiah Love, Ty Simpson. Let's do it, Cardinals. That's really good work.
I'd rather be entertained.
I would rather be a good football team in about 4 years.
If we take that off the table as an option, Mike, where else do you want to go?
Okay,
The Vikings.
if that's out,
Yeah, that's obviously
if
out.
that's out, fine.
If good is out, entertaining is next up. The 49ers signed Trent Williams to a 2-year, $50 million extension.
Oh,
He's
Thank
only
goodness.
made $218 million.
yes.
That's a Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
all right.
Jason.
I forgot your
And Purdy.
yeah.
Trent
sure.
Williams
No,
is
Trent Williams is
he's great.
he is an all-timer, and this was great. I just thought at first I forgot that I thought you were a Cardinals fan because we were
No,
talking.
I have left them.
Yes, I remember now.
We talked about the trade already. Brandon Aubrey, an agreement with the Cowboys, highest paid kicker in NFL history, 4-year extension, $7 million a year, $20 million guaranteed.
Which $7 million a year, most ever for a kicker. 20 guaranteed, most ever for a kicker. Those are not big numbers.
No.
That's and it's so worth it. Brandon
He's
Aubrey changes your offense.
Trent Williams, 2 year. Old man Trent Williams, 2-year, $50 million extension.
218 made. And then Brandon Aubrey, best kicker in football, $20 million guaranteed.
I mean, it's tough when the positions get bracketed into this is the amount of money that this position makes, even though someone like Brandon Aubrey is just so incredibly valuable. When you know that your kicker is going to make a 50-plus yard kick, he will. You're like, we're in the 60s. He probably is going to make this kick.
When Justin Tucker was
Right.
at the peak of his career, he was so incredibly valuable for that team on a regular basis.
But
it's a superpower.
So congratulations, Aubrey.
Alec Pierce was absent from OTAs, underwent ankle surgery, looking at a 3-month recovery. This is after he signed the big deal. He was being impacted by pain in that ankle, I guess, during last season.
All right.
Then proved he was super tough, and everybody else would have gotten surgery but him. But now he's getting the surgery.
Mac Jones would not have gotten the surgery.
He couldn't afford it until he signed that contract. Now he's
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
dude, you know what I
yeah.
can get? First thing I'm getting, surgery.
All right, we'll take a break. We've got some ADP price checks. Should be pretty fun.
You better check yourself before you wreck yourself.
All right, we are going to walk through some names. The only ADP average draft position that we have right now is going to be the underdog 12-team best ball drafts, but people are doing those every single day for money. And so that is the best gauge we have until people start mock drafting in redraft leagues. So it's just a bit of bring up some names, talk about where we think they might be going, and then I think we follow up and talk about where we think they might go in redraft and whether they look like values or not. So the first player to talk about is Jayden Daniels of the Washington Commanders, who just got a little uniform refresh. All teams are now doing the barely changing
Seriously, what is this
the jersey
about?
thing so that we can get you to buy slightly new jerseys.
But do people really
Yes.
buy a new,
Yes.
like, oh,
Yes.
man, there's a little extra yellow there. I got to
Yes.
have it.
The
Yeah.
jersey people do. I mean,
yeah, we do.
Like, I don't buy
Mike does
football
it.
jersey. I buy the new Suns jersey every year.
Interesting.
Yeah. And if you don't, you're dumb.
Yeah.
I'm dumb.
I mean, imagine wearing an old jersey.
No,
What a loser.
That's my secret. When I go to like
Being
a
a
Suns
loser?
game, be a loser, and you don't have to worry about it. No, you get the throwback. So like from now on, Cardinals should always be Larry Fitzgerald or Kurt Warner. They can't.
No, throwbacks are great.
Yeah.
Throwbacks are great. The slightly older version, like if anybody's wearing a Atlanta Falcons jersey this year of last year's jersey,
man.
that's not a throwback. That's lame.
Yeah. We don't
you
make the
see
rules.
the difference?
I'm starting to understand.
Throwback would be like one of them Deion Sanders, red jerseys.
It has to be
Doug Glanville.
like it can't be sort of old. It has
Yes.
to be old.
Yes.
Okay, I'm taking
Write this
notes.
down.
I grabbed my pen.
Jayden Daniels. I look at last year as a deleted year for Washington in general, right? I mean, yes, he played 7 games, but did he? It just didn't feel like he ever got it going.
Well, because in the 7 games, you were like, Mr. Daniels, what the heck? I spent a very high pick on you.
Well, I mean, and you look at these matchups, like he started the year against the Giants in Green Bay, got hurt for a couple games, came back against the Chargers on the road, had a nice game against Chicago, a letdown against Dallas, missed another game, came back against Seattle, missed almost the rest of the season.
Him and Terry were like two
Chips passing in the
chips
night.
passing in the night.
Yeah,
It was a lost season.
weeks 4 through 7. Terry McLaurin didn't play. Week 9, Terry McLaurin didn't play. So you really only had 2 games where you saw Jayden Daniels and Terry McLaurin on the field. It was
And Terry got training camped
right. Yeah, he came out slow. Looked
like a guy who needed training
like
camp.
he should have practiced a little bit longer. So I agree with you. You throw out last year completely. Speaking of last year, Jayden Daniels was the 3rd quarterback being drafted last year. He was the race to get Jayden Daniels was happening in all your drafts. So this year, after a completely lost year, where when he was playing, he wasn't putting up big fantasy numbers. However, he was rushing just the same. His scramble rate was higher. His total rushing attempts per game was higher.
Yeah, and then other guys there's excitement around players like Drake May. Joe Burrow's healthy. I think a year removed from the hype, I think it's going to be lower. Let's guess what quarterback off the board he is.
Okay.
And then the round. Let's guess it that way. I think Jayden Daniels is probably the quarterback. I'm thinking 8 or 9.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's higher than that.
I was going.
I'm going to go 8.
I'm in 4 or 5.
I'll be in the.
No,
Oh, 6'7".
I don't have my.
It doesn't matter.
Jeremy, where's the water
it's
bottle?
done.
It's
over.
right by your left foot.
When you have a chance to
there it is.
spray Jason with water for being stupid, you got to do it.
Wasn't
You should
fast.
leave that
So
on
I
the table.
I wasn't fast enough.
I'm going to say quarterback 8. Mike, you're saying quarterback.
I'll go
Just pick a number. That's the whole guessing part.
5. I'll go 5.
And I'll go 6.
So
And
5, 6, and 8, and then round wise, I mean that probably ends up being
Can't put it by you. You're gonna.
maybe the 5th round
for us, yeah, I
for
think
you
that
guys.
would be
6th round for me, maybe.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
All right, let's go. Do we have this on the board?
Reveal yourself.
602.
602.
So what quarterback is that? That is the quarterback.
Guess we're gonna have to look that up.
That's the quarterback 3.
Yeah.
In the 6th?
What?
People are
On Underdog? Wow.
Yep. Right now he is. So it goes.
So this
Josh,
best ball, yeah.
It's Josh Allen, Lamar, and there's Jayden. To be fair, Jayden and Joe Burrow are very
I was going to
close
say,
to each other.
could you see yourself taking Jayden over Joe Burrow?
Yes.
Okay.
I can see it. I will let the NFL draft go because at 7, I'm not 100% convinced that Washington will take a wide out. They really do need one, but like if they take someone like Tate at pick number 7, that will be very, very exciting. The fact that it's not just Terry McLaurin versus the world. So I can see it. I can see
it
it
blows my
happening.
mind that he is vaulted right back up there after a year off, and
Because people are like you're saying, they're like, I'm deleting it.
I think
I don't care.
it's got to be the rushing consistency, and the fact that that's a superpower in fantasy, and you just want to get the next one of those. But that's a little bit surprising to me. We were all wrong. I mean, in terms of the quarterback number off the board, round wise we were about right, but yeah, they need to add a weapon that gives you confidence, not just Chigakonkwo, to the offense. Debo's going to be – I mean, Debo's gone, right? So it's funny these names, like they're going to start popping up. Debo Samuel, Keenan Allen, some of these other names that don't have teams are going to pop up on some franchise. Keenan did not mean good things for Ladd McConkey last year.
No.
Right.
So Jayden Daniels, QB3, 602 in the draft. Is there a fit wide receiver-wise, the Denzel Boston, Omar Coopers, that you think works best alongside
They have
Terry
to drop
McLaurin?
to the 3rd, though. They do not have a second rounder right now.
Yeah, basically at 7, they're either going to take one of these top 3 guys, and that's really the difference maker for Jayden Daniels. He needs one of that level of player. That's what the Commanders need in general. However, if a great defensive guy slips to them, they could very well, I had Sonny Styles dropping to them in my mock, and so they didn't take a wide receiver in the 1st, and if they don't, like Mike said, they don't have a lot of picks, a lot of capital to really move the needle. Personally, I'm not sure that, like, next year when I'm looking at quarterbacks I'm targeting, depending on where Drake May is going, depending on where Jalen Hurts is going, people aren't going to be hot and bothered with Jalen Hurts anymore. Burrow, there's a handful of names. If he's really the quarterback 3 off the board, I went into this episode thinking he was going to be quite a value. Seems like he is not.
Yeah, I was kind of guessing the same. Let's jump into another name, TreVeyon Henderson of the New England Patriots. First 8 weeks of the season, you didn't get to see much of him. Week 9 through the end of the year, you saw
Unleashed.
a lot of him. He was the RB9 in that stretch, 16.7 fantasy points per game, 5.3 yards per touch. I would imagine in the majority of those games, Mike still felt like he was being underutilized in all of them.
Yeah, accurately so.
But, there's not – Ramondre's not going anywhere.
No.
Drake May will continue to take a step forward. You add A.J. Brown to the offense. You add Romeo Doubs to the offense. I think the passing game will get a lot of attention in the offseason. So where do you think players are going to put Trevo? I'll say I think he's probably running back 19.
I think that's a very good guess.
Yeah, I was going to say he's in the 20s, which is surprising with his breakout as a rookie, as not only just a rookie, but one that people were all excited about. You're my guy, right? He was a my guy last year. Had that breakout, looked like he was going to be the next Jahmyr Gibbs superstar. To have him not in the top 20 at running back, but this is I got to remember
yet,
this
Jason,
is
we haven't revealed it.
No, I know. I'm thinking of normal rankings, but I'm not considering, an underdog. A lot of times you're swinging for the fences, trying to hit the home run. Trevo is a home run, so yeah, I'll just say running back 20.
So I'm at 19. You're at 20, Mike. Where do you want to go?
I'll go running back. Oh, he finished as a running back 18. I bet he's drafted around there.
18, 19, 20?
I'm worried about Ramondre.
You're worried that he's good.
Oh, no.
He's worried
Ramondre?
about the utilization.
No. I'm worried that
he's going to Charbonnet him.
That teams are just like, well, go on, Ramondre.
All right, give us
So running back 20, I'm going to say that would be the
like
5th round.
I'm going late 4th.
Yeah, I'll go with the 4th round. Go ahead and show me the ADP.
Oh, yeah.
4'11", That is the RB20
Oh, he is 20.
on the
Okay.
dot. RB20 on the dot in the back of the 11th round.
You win this time.
I don't know. It's weird because like the prototype of TreVeyon Henderson is to say he's a home run. Like there's this home run possibility. I don't see it in this offense. Like even if Ramondre's hurt, I think they'll utilize other guys. I don't think they look at TreVeyon Henderson as a like I don't look at him like Jahmyr Gibbs from a 3-down perspective. I don't think he has that. I don't think he's.
I think he does. It's like the AJ Brown. I think it is happening. So then you're like, okay, more touchdowns. But do they give goal line work to Henderson or do they go back to Ramondre? It was the fact that he broke. Talking about Henderson, the way he broke out in the middle of the season and towards the end, it was like it was a true breakout. It was awesome. He was changing the game, and then they're like, yeah, but we still got Ramondre. We like him, and so I don't know if heading into the sophomore year if that will get totally flipped. If it gets flipped, then he's a steal at running back 20, which that's the decision you got to make when you're building your teams.
Yeah, he's going to be a really interesting player this year because we know they're going to win a lot of football games, and you want young talent on really good football teams.
And running backs get injured. I mean, this is one of those situations where when you are getting a really talented back in a timeshare, there is always the opportunity of an injury to the other party. You know, just like what happened in his rookie year when Ramondre got injured. He was forced to be the guy, and we know – here's what we know. I know you say you don't see him as a 3-down bell cow. That is probably correct when we look at how are they going to utilize him. They're not going to force that. They have no reason to. But I do believe he can do it and will excel at it when given that opportunity. So an injury can always make that happen. That's the type of player I would want at running back 20.
I think a couple interesting things about him. For him to be a top 10 guy, we were looking at those target totals. Those would have to come up, I think. I mean, that 9-game stretch where he was really good, he was only on 45 target pace during those 9 games. He's averaging about 16 opportunities a game. I don't know if he's a guy that would stay as efficient with as much work, but he's explosive. He can break a long touchdown. He can catch the football. They just didn't do it as much. In fact, Ramondre caught the ball a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So he's an interesting name for this upcoming year. Jaylen Warren.
The ever disrespected.
Yeah, and my face says it
I know.
all. It's like
it's how I feel too.
He feels like Tony Pollard or something.
He was the running back
16.
He was the running back 16 while sharing time with Kenneth Gainwell, who led the team in receptions and is no longer there. I'm very confident he's after Hendo. No one's drafting him ahead of TreVeyon Henderson.
No, I think Jaylen Warren. You know, we've had 20 years with Mike Tomlin, right, where we've got to like see that grimace on his face and know what he's doing at running back, and it's a little. But
we won't see it anymore.
No, I know. I'm saying it makes it different. It makes it a variable. Like Mike McCarthy, do we get another one of his little Ezekiel Elliott committee years?
Warren's
the best player. On their running back room, their running back room, right?
Well, I don't know.
They got Rico.
It's
they got Caleb.
Yeah, he's not factoring into the equation. It's Jaylen Warren versus Rico. It's the reunion of Mike McCarthy and Rico, which the Rico Dowdle's breakout year. If you are newer or you don't remember, it was the second half of the year with the Dallas Cowboys with Mike McCarthy.
But then they dumped him.
I know. I'm just saying it's all.
Is it good to come back to McCarthy or bad?
I think it's good for Rico.
All right, Jaylen Warren, running back 25.
I'll go after that.
Man.
I'm going to say 27. Yeah.
When he said
did you say
I almost went 26.
When he said after that, I thought
whoa.
I thought he was like I thought he meant it like in a significant way, not like whoa.
I'll go 1 cent.
It's the Price is Right rules, man.
Well, it just sounded more like you were going to say 30 or something.
Take 26.
Man, I wonder if him and Rico are going right near each other. I
bet they are.
I'm going to go running back 29
Yeah, so you're talking like a 7th, 8th round pick?
Yeah.
All right, right now he is going as
Oh, the running back 29.
running back 29.
Shazam.
That's where Jason would have picked if he had more courage.
Whoa,
708.
25? I'm going way after that.
That guy-
Two spots.
Hey, I was
Wait,
two
you
spots
said
away
he's-
from being
You
correct.
said he's 40 years old. He looks way older than that. 41. Jaylen
Oh, and
Warren at RB 29. Does that
Enrico's at 31.
Enrico's at 31? If I had to choose between the two, I feel like I'd want to go Rico
I lean Rico as well.
because I feel like Warren is kind of
I will stick with Jaylen Warren.
usurpable.
I mean, but so is Rico. Every team that he's been on, no matter how well he plays, he's never – whatever is happening in the locker room, we've seen it. It's kind of like when you talk about Kenneth Walker. You're like, I'm not sure how it's going to fail, but it just always does some way. Whether it's you're healthy and you get Charbonnet, whether it's you're great but you can't stay healthy. Just we've had year after year after year after year where we see flashes, it just doesn't
Rico's
work out.
just,
That's Rico.
Always a bridesmaid.
Yeah, I mean, it's like no matter – he's had these – unbelievable stretches where you're like, this is a top tier running back. He had 1,000 yards, and yet teams just are like, he does not matter to us at all.
In what, 2-year, $12.5 million for Rico?
Okay.
Are you asking?
No, I'm saying that's what it was. But this will be a good example. So we talk about ambiguous backfields as for a strategy because you don't know what to do here. You're like Jaylen Warren, Rico. Do I really want anyone on the Pittsburgh Steelers? And the answer is based off of their cost. Yes, you 100% do. We'll track this. Stick with the show. We'll track this over training camp with the drum beat. Who's getting the buzz of like they're the more likely.
Neither will move up enough in the draft to make them too expensive.
Right.
And you brought up in the just the tips that we
Yes.
did last offseason, 8.5 teams on average per year have lacked a top 24 drafted running back in fantasy.
Totally, it makes sense. Those numbers make sense.
Yeah, 8 to 9 teams have nobody that's being drafted in the top 24 at the position. Yeah, it makes sense from a math perspective.
Yes.
I'm just saying, like, from an opportunity perspective, I think losing Tomlin gives me a little bit less confidence that they will be consistent the way they've always been. But Mike McCarthy's kind of the other example of that type of guy where like McCarthy shows up and people play pretty hard.
The follow-up to that is 5 players from those teams on average per year jump into the top 24. And
The follow-up of that.
there's not. This is my stat.
No, this was your stat, was that you tried to pick the ones on the best offenses.
Yes.
That's how we've had a lot of success the last couple of years. Picking like Javonte last year.
Last year it was disgusing, but
it was disgusting. It was like, okay, but the Cowboys are probably going to have a good offense. Yeah. So you take maybe someone wanted whoever the rookie was, Blue. Last year, or you choose Javonte, but you want to take one of those ambiguous backfields from a good offense. The question now for Jaylen Warren, for Rico Dowdle is, I mean, first of all, who's the quarterback? Because right now Aaron Rodgers is not.
Will Howard right now.
Reporting that he's now. I love that it was reported before. There's like they expect to know by the draft. And now it's just being reported like, oh, they're not going to know by the draft. It's like, yeah, because we're a week from the draft and you don't know.
It's so wild.
I don't – even if Aaron Rodgers comes back, I would not put this as a really
Top
good
half
offense, as a top half offense. So TBD.
We'll take a break, and then we'll talk about Jaylen Warren of the wide receiver position. Christopher Godwin, the Goblin. Where are we with this guy at this point in time? He's, most of the year was deleted. He missed a lot of time with an ankle and a fibula injury that it didn't seem like he'd recover from, and he did. And he had 1 or 2 games that were kind of all right, and it was in a year where Mike Evans was banged up and Ibuka took off, and you got Jalen McMillan back, and Tez Johnson had games, and Cade Otton was relevant at times. Like, there are a lot of pass-catching options. He is not a spring chicken anymore, and yet Chris Godwin has value for fantasy, doesn't he?
I mean, he should, but he's He's 30 years old, and he missed so much of last year coming off of that injury.
Yeah, but he played at the end of it.
He did play at the end, so
He
he
recent.
also missed almost all of the previous year.
Yeah, but that injury that took him out for the second half of last year and the first half of this year, right before that injury, he was averaging over 16 fantasy points a game. Now Mike Evans is gone. The opportunity for him to come in and maybe even be the one still exists on this team.
Man, he feels like an 86 reception for 870-yard guy this year to me. Like
At age 30, I tend to agree with you.
I
I don't want
him. He's a
him.
PPR guy that is. I'm going to put my ADP guess at wide receiver 34.
I'll go wide receiver 41, and I'm going to say that's the 9th round.
Mike,
I'm going to go in the middle.
surprised.
Well, I was trying to remember what you said. You said
34.
Oh, 38.
All right, he is the wide receiver 43
Okay,
in
going
the
back
eighth
of the eighth.
round.
I feel like
This is not a ceiling draft selection, so this is where it gets tough. This is where you'll be picking Chris Godwin or a rookie that you don't know how they might emerge. Like, I don't know if I'm going to draft him.
To me, Godwin still feels like, depending on how many fantasy football leagues I'm in, if let's say I'm in 5 leagues, I'm going to make sure I have Godwin on at least 1 or 2 of those teams. Of like Ibuka's going to be the hotness, and it chasing youth, especially youth like that. A young NFL player who already had a breakout, which did Ibuka break out?
Yes.
Okay, so you follow
And he
that.
broke right back in.
Let me in.
He broke into the jail cell and pulled the door closed.
Okay, so Ibuka's going as a wide receiver 17. That makes complete sense for the situation that they are in. But like I said, if I have multiple teams, I think there is a chance that Godwin is easily the best wide receiver for fantasy.
Yeah, if it's what I said a minute ago, he still has the opportunity with Evans out of the way to be the wide receiver 1 for Baker Mayfield for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If Ibuka keeps
Baker
that,
couldn't find over the second half. Baker just couldn't connect. with Ibuka. Baker can connect with Chris Godwin.
Diggs
they know
with
each
New
other.
England.
Right, yeah.
That's what it feels like for Godwin.
I think that's a good comp, a quality wide receiver who's going to be in the right spot and do the right thing for a veteran quarterback in Baker, and that's not always great for fantasy.
I'm shaking my head moving to this next name because, on our website we have the game log for these players, and, you see the games that are top 24 finishes, top 12 finishes, they're green. Anything in that middle tier, wide receiver 3 range, they're yellow, and then the red games are these bust games for our consistency charts. Just looking at this.
Red means stop. We want you to stop doing that.
Stop it. Brian Thomas Jr. for Jacksonville. This is a game log that is horrific and terrifying for where he was drafted and what you saw from him.
There's a lot more green on Parker Washington's game log.
The Jags are hilarious. I don't know if you tuned into last week's Footcast, we were talking about Travis Hunter. The reports come out. He's going to be a full-time DB, part-time wide receiver. And right now in Dynasty, they're trying to flip Travis Hunter. And Andy got an offer. I got an offer for Travis Hunter. Did you get an offer, Jay?
I did not.
Okay. You weren't
Lucky.
cool enough, I guess. But these were like, it's like, how do you not want Travis Hunter? The number 2 overall pick, and at the end of everything, Andy didn't trade for him. I didn't trade for him.
No, and I got more offers over the weekend, and we just didn't quite get there.
And then you got Brian Thomas Jr. You're like, do I want Brian Thomas? But the Jags are going to be a top-tier offense.
They're going to be really good.
They're going to be fantastic, and we're looking at the wide receivers like, ooh, I don't know who I want.
What's so weird about
it's weird.
Like you said, certifiably that Ibuka broke out, right?
Yes.
Which then, of course, Brian Thomas Jr. broke out.
Oh, for sure.
He had
didn't he finish as the wide receiver 7 his rookie year?
His final 6 games of the season, and I know it was Mac Jones and some Trevor Lawrence, But to be clear,
Are you talking about the rookie
previous year?
Yeah.
What we were drafting on. Here's what we were drafting on: a pace of 127 for 1,714, 14 touchdowns. So 200 targets, 127 receptions, 1,700 yards, 14 touchdowns. That was his final 6 weeks, and then we're like, now figure out where to draft him in the draft, and he went super high.
He was in the conversation with Malik Neighbors as far as like talent after that rookie year. It was like was he just as good as his college teammate? And it's almost you can't even think like that anymore after this bust of a sophomore season. You can't remember how good Brian Thomas Jr. was as a rookie, but he did that. He did that in the NFL.
And he did it without Jacoby Myers or Travis Hunter or Parker Washington surrounding him, with a different quarterback. And it's really hard to look at Brian Thomas and be like, I think he's just going to settle into mediocrity as for his career. But that's how it feels right now. I don't feel like there's margin for anything remarkably close to those numbers in this offense when you have those other names. They just gave a huge contract to Jacoby Myers. Parker Washington has emerged. I think Travis Hunter plays offense. To me, Brian Thomas Jr., again, this is not a discussion about what he's going to do. This is where he's being drafted. And I think he's being drafted as the wide receiver in the 20s. 20, no, maybe not. Golly. Yeah, 26. I'll go 26. I'm going to go 26. What do you mean, dang it?
You can go 26.
That was
26
the number of my
Then-
that was the
then
number
go
of my
with
mind.
it.
Go with it. Come on.
I'm with
come
you.
on over.
I think he's wide receiver 26.
Yeah.
You've still got a lot of hope, a lot of youth, a lot
Of course.
extreme athleticism. And we've talked about this in the past as well. It is often a good bet when you can get a discount. And you're looking at the guys that are falling in drafts. There's always a reason, right? The quarterback play, the talent, the age, the whatever. And then you've got to write the path forward. But the paths, when we look back at the players who dropped and then went outstanding, just rebounded in one fantasy leagues, a lot of times they have done it before. Chris Godwin was one of these people once before in his career. Cooper Kupp was one of those players where it was like, we have seen them be great before they got injured or they struggled or whatever, and they were done with them. And then Cooper Kupp was the number one wide receiver in all of fantasy. So I think Brian Thomas Jr. can get back, and so
26 for me and Jason. What do you got, Mike?
I'll go 24.
The answer is the wide receiver 31.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh
the
my
6th
gosh.
He is still being drafted ahead of Parker Washington, who's wide receiver 35, Jacoby Myers, who's wide receiver 41. I'm assuming Travis Hunter is nowhere to be found.
Oh.
Wide receiver 64. So
That is.
I mean, if I would take a
he's
shot
the
on
most
one of those
complete
guys,
package of the group.
I definitely take the shot on Brian Thomas Jr.
How can you have an offense that good and no one being drafted in the top 30 at wide receiver?
There is gold in the hills, boys.
No, that's
somewhere.
Like that's like my guy calling your name, Jay, Brian Thomas.
Nice try.
I
know
almost
what
said
you're
it for me,
I-
but
I-
it's
I-
more you.
I know what you're saying. We're talking about these ambiguous. It works both in the wide receiver core and in the running back room. You want a good offense, and you don't know where it's going to come from. This is a wide receiver group that you're like, well, there's too many mouths to feed here. I'm not sure who could break out, so we're going to draft none of them, except if you say one of these guys, Brian Thomas Jr., Parker Washington, Jacoby Myers, was going to be a top 15 wide receiver in fantasy.
BTJ.
Of course it's going to be Brian Thomas Jr.
What if I told you that after the bye week, so we're talking weeks 9 through 18, this is for a football season, that's a decent sample.
Mm-hmm.
There's no Travis Hunter because he was already hurt. The target share, Jacoby 21%, Parker Washington 21%, Brenton Strange 16%, Brian Thomas Jr. I don't know if you're doing the math. We're running out of targets.
We're running out of percents.
We're running out of time.
15.
Yeah.
And he moved. I mean, he was not running. It was a different offense, different head coach, different coordinator
I was saying
than the year before.
They have the bye week, and they go and because weeks 1 through 7, Brian Thomas was the dominant.
Here's why I think this happened midseason. I don't blame them at all for making that transition.
Because he was stinky.
Because the first 7 weeks up to the bye week, he was on target for 133 targets. Great. He was, like you said, the market share was great. He was everything we wanted in fantasy, except he caught less than half of those balls.
Right.
He was 49% catch rate. It was ruining drives.
Okay, now let me also
And so
add
they go
this
into the
in.
bye week, and they're like, we got to fix this.
Right, and then they're like, hey, this is the new plan moving forward, and then they go 8-1.
So now they go to the offseason, and they get
You
to do
still in on
anything they
Brian
want.
Thomas.
I am, because
There
I
is
think,
a non-zero chance that he's traded on Thursday.
ooh,
I
that's
I think he
that would-
stays on the team.
I mean, again, I'm
I would
not
love it.
saying the odds are that happens. I'm just saying there's
Well,
been
you
enough
can't-
smoke for a year and a
You can't
half.
be the inside of those, like, don't be shocked
Oh, yeah.
if this happens. You're like,
I'm not an insider.
is it going to happen? No, but don't be shocked.
Yeah. But
And if-
remember, I said,
remember,
don't be
I told
shocked.
you not to be shocked.
I think that there's room for this team. You just made the case why they can succeed without him. That's what you just did.
It's like it.
Because they can use Travis Hunter, who they didn't have.
That will be a very wild mystery to solve this offseason.
All right, real quick here, let's do one more name. Just guess the ADP of where Colston Loveland is going right now.
Oh,
Colston
too
Loveland.
low. I'll tell you that much. Am I right, Jay?
Maybe.
I just pointed at Jay, huh?
I don't know.
Mr. Loveland himself. I'm going to say he's the tight end 3.
3. Yeah, as much as we all love Colston Loveland, you can't draft him over McBride or Bowers.
No, but I think he's the next man up.
And let's put him. So
Depending
where's that
on
go?
Daniel Jones, I still think I might go Tyler Warren over him. But yeah, I'd probably
Stop
tight end
this
3.
nonsense.
It's not nonsense, man. He was great. They were both great. They could both be great.
No, they can't. There could be only one.
What round?
Colston Loveland's going. I'll say 3rd round.
I think it'll be lower. I still think
Early
tight end
4th.
3, but yeah, late 4th.
All right, where are we with Colston Loveland? Right now he is the tight end 3 going in the
Whoa!
late 4th.
Too low. I told you.
4th round.
But still the tight end 3. I think that's appropriate. I think that's, if you really look at
inappropriate.
That's like Mr. Likeland.
yeah.
That's not good enough.
Get on board, people.
at the 4th round
There's a
with-
dog in the back of the 4th waiting for you.
with a lot of good
I'm with you,
talent,
Mike. Let's ride.
I'll be going elsewhere. I'll be grabbing a running back or a wide receiver.
It's funny because I have, for those of you that follow along with our league of record and what we do in that league, we have a keeper lottery. You have one franchise player, and then you have 3 players that go into a keeper lottery. They can't match the position group of the franchise player. And then on draft, like when the draft's over, we're going to find out what player's going back. My 3 keepers are Amari and Hampton.
This is your lottery.
Yeah, my lottery.
Okay.
Amari and Hampton,
Mhm.
Kenneth Walker,
Mm-hmm.
and Colston Loveland.
Mm.
And so by all measures, I want to lose Loveland in that draft.
Yeah, that makes
Except,
sense.
what about the measure of your heart?
The measure of my heart wants that dog on my team. I want that dog.
Well, the good news is
I could just draft him,
you
though.
won't be too disappointed then.
Yeah, I think that puts me in a better spot if I'm, having to give back a running back. But do
Oh gosh, I gotta lock in my keepers.
you have any?
Yeah,
Oh, that's good.
You got good
That's
ones?
good. You got good ones?
I got some good.
Why don't you share?
You got some good,
I
good.
got some good.
Some good. By the way, I think my franchise is going to be Malik Neighbors, I think.
Oh, man. Dance with the devil.
But if I get shaky legs by the end of this draft, maybe I mix it up. Maybe
you don't have very long.
I know.
That's
Well,
it's
here's
Saturday.
Here's what shaky legs would be. They draft Jordan Tyson.
They will draft one of the 3.
I know.
I think it's Tyson.
Well, maybe Hampton becomes some franchise. I don't know.
Oh man.
I don't know. Maybe this is why the draft. This is why we do this after the draft.
Mm-hmm.
It's because we don't want to force somebody to make those picks.
Give Tyler Shuck and Jackson Dart
Weapons.
one of them.
Weapons.
One of them.
I think I've got to risk Jonathan Taylor.
Oh.
So wait, break it down. What do you think your setup's going to be?
So yeah,
Let's
my
workshop
team
this.
right
We got a couple
now-
minutes.
Okay, so this is work out some personal problems. My two best
your
players
kids?
are CeeDee Lamb and Jonathan Taylor.
Okay.
Right. So
Only one of those could be a franchise.
right. Then my other players, I've got Josh Jacobs, Travis Etienne.
What's that?
Oh, Travis Etienne. Thank you.
Etienne Jr.
Travis Etienne Jr. And I guess David Montgomery.
Or as I call him,
AKA
Run Balaya.
Rumbalaya.
Does that
Andy-
make you want to keep him more?
It does make me want to keep him more. I
Andy
would
hit
much
us
rather
with a
have Rumbalaya
at
than,
lunch the other day, and I was like, "This is fantastic."
Rumbalaya is better than learning his name.
And then And then I've got
We're so dumb.
I've got
I
Chris
know.
Olave and Roma Dunze. So it
Yeah,
feels like my
I think
strength is
I
at the
think
running
you gotta
back.
go
Yeah, you
CeeDee
got
Lamb
you
and the
got
3
you
running
got to
backs.
try to get a pair of running backs.
Man.
You're not going to be that unhappy in any combo.
I'll be pretty unhappy if I lose Jonathan Taylor.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Mike's got CMC. And a
my 3
championship.
for those. I have Bijan, McCaffrey, and Chase Brown are my 3 lottos. So
One of those is
I-
not
it's
like the other.
the draft could be
What are your 3?
Bijan, Christian McCaffrey, Chase Brown. So our draft could have
Why
Bijan
is this
and Johnny
team so
Taylor in
good?
there.
Please have. You cannot lose Chase Brown. I will be so upset.
What do you
Who's your
got, Al?
franchise?
What do you got, Al? What's your situation?
Who's Mike's franchise? Oh, Jamar Chase.
My franchise, more than likely, it'll be Trey McBride franchised, Drake London, Garrett Wilson, and Quinshon Judkins.
Okay.
It's a good franchise. Do we got one more dude in the office? Papa Josh, let's hear it.
It's TBD still.
Wow.
You don't have a clue on your franchise player?
No, we're waffling big time because we have.
give me the players you're waffling
Yeah,
between.
we can help you out here.
Yeah, we got you. We do this full time.
We're friends.
I'm good. I don't trust you guys.
Oh, man.
I don't trust you guys, man. No. You're
I
gonna have
want
to
to
wait
know.
and find
Okay,
out.
fine. I'm gonna have to pull
We
this up.
can't, we
All right,
can't
wait,
manipulate your system.
Why don't you pull it up,
I know,
Andy?
we can
We'll
for
talk
sure
about
We
it.
figure it
legit
out.
haven't decided yet.
Okay, no, I'm
Well,
gonna,
we're
I'm
gonna
pulling it
decide
up
for you.
right now
Don't
because
you
you
worry.
didn't want to tell us.
Don't you
All right,
worry.
so
We
he's
got
got here he is. So he's probably going to franchise. Now he sees.
Yeah, you see what I'm talking about?
So he has Puka Nacua and he has Amon-Ra.
Okay.
Which means if you franchise one of those guys, you cannot keep the other in your lottery because they
Shoot.
have to be different positions. So then if he were to
And then his running backs are his best running backs like Kyron
Kyron for
and
sure.
Javonte and Bucky.
He could franchise Tyler Warren.
He could franchise
That
Tyler
gives him
Warren
flexibility.
He also has
and go
Rushy
Puka, Amon-Ra, Kyron.
Yeah.
or Rushy Rice.
Yeah.
You've got some decisions to
Yeah,
make.
you
That's
do.
why I wasn't joking, man. I
Okay,
don't
no,
know what I'm
that's-
doing yet.
I think I would franchise Kyron, put Puka, Amon-Ra, and Rushy Rice.
that's
in
probably what we're leaning for. To
I
be
think
honest,
I'd
but
franchise I think I'd franchise Puka, my number 1 wide receiver.
really and throw
And then
back.
I'd throw
and then
Warren,
risk.
Bucky for my 3.
I would do that too if I were you.
No.
What would you do, Mike?
I lean what Jason said.
Okay.
I mean, it's
Let you guys make out.
the
Go
player.
go to that Sedona resort.
You have a 33% chance of losing the player you don't want to lose. Those are good odds. UltimateDraftKit.com. Get in the contest. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. Join our fantasy football community on jointhefoot.com and follow us on Twitter @TheFFBallers.